Good afternoon and welcome to Eastern Lifestyle. I'm your host, Davia Pugh.
And I'm your reporter, Kaylee Riccatelli.
We've got such a cool show coming up. Thank you for joining us. We'll speak with an author about her empowering women books. We'll explore the town of Oriental. Plus, you'll find out how to get a great deal when you dine at this awesome ENC restaurant. And that's all coming up very soon. And now it's time to get into what makes this day special. So Kaylee, what is today?
Today is Recycling Day.
Ooh.
So recycling is a practice that could be seen in ancient civilizations. There's evidence of use of scrap metal, reusing things, that kind of stuff. It became more mainstream in the 1930s, during the Great Depression, when people couldn't always afford new stuff, so they were reusing what they had. Oh. And then that's when people were like, hey, maybe this recycling thing is a pretty cool deal.
Yeah.
So then that's when it started to hit the mainstream, get promoted more. And if you want to recycle, you can recycle materials like paper, cardboard, glass, metals, plastics, and food if your city has the proper facilities. Now, each of these can change per city or locale, so make sure to check in with your area to see what you can recycle and what they need, because sometimes they have to put a whole, like if they have a whole bunch of plastic, then they'll be like, hey, we can't take any more plastic.
Yeah.
But, and it's firm plastics, so like no plastic bags, that kind of thing, but like pop bottles and all of that. I think metals is very particular kinds of metals, like aluminum. I mean, you see a lot of things on cans where you can actually get money for recycling certain cans in certain states. So,
yeah, and
recycling pays back sometimes.
It does, and there are like community events sometimes where people go and do like trash or cleanups or town cleanups. Those are also a great way to get involved in helping to keep the place where we live clean, keep our earth clean.
Yeah.
And so also today is National Drummer Day.
Oh,
Drummers
are so cool.
They're so cool.
Actually, I've always wanted to learn how to play the drum.
I think they're so cool, and they're known as like the heartbeat of a band. Like when you see a drummer, it's like that's what they're known for. And
Yeah.
they're so dope. I love drummers and drums. It's such a so cool. And so the world's largest drum kit actually is known to have 800 pieces on it.
Are you kidding?
Yes, that's a lot of pieces for a drum set.
Yeah, is that even playable?
I don't even know, but the earliest drums appear as far back as like 5000 BC. So drumming has been a thing for a very, very long time.
It's been around almost as long as music has.
Literally.
At the very least.
Very least. And the first drumstick was known to be in like 1300. And then the first drum pedal was known to be like in 1909. Gotcha. So this is a day to recognize all the awesome, talented drummers out there. I just find it so fascinating. Anytime I see like a movie or something with drummers and they just go crazy, like doing a solo.
What's the one with Miles Teller that's like Whiplash?
I don't think
And
I've
then
seen
of
that.
course Nick Cannon's drum line.
Yes,
You
yes,
can't
you have to think about that. Yes.
You can't talk about drums without talking about that.
Yes, yes, and even like Lemonade. Have you seen like Lemonade?
Lemonade Mouth. Oh my gosh,
Drummer?
yes.
It's so cool. I can go. Yeah, it's awesome stuff. But now we're on the topic of music. So join the Pitt County Historical Society for its annual Thanksgiving tea at 2 p.m. this Sunday at the Music House in Greenville.
Oh,
yeah.
More music.
More music. So you can enjoy tea in this historical Victorian home and tour the historic Higgs house next door. And you can learn all about their fascinating history of the homes as well as the families that live there. So you can check out their website for more information. Sounds like an awesome time to bring in the holidays as well.
Have fun and also learn something.
You can learn about this local place, local Greenville.
While we're still talking about music, now we're talking about Drummer Day.
Yeah.
I actually have a question.
Yes.
What is your favorite like iconic drum beat or drum hit?
Ooh, I don't know. What's yours?
So my favorite is the one in Phil Collins's "Feel It in the Air Tonight" or something, like the.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, I love that.
Do you have like a favorite drum hit?
That
Probably. One? Yeah, I think it's everyone's favorite.
I would have to think harder about that. But that one I remember very vividly when you brought that up. I was like, that's an iconic one, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. So at the beginning of our shows, we want to connect with you guys. If you captured amazing moments that show the best of what ENC has to offer, that you'd like Kaylee and I to react to, share, or know, just be sure to scan that QR code, fill out the quick form, and send us your pics and vids. Coming up after the break, we'll speak with an author about her inspiring women-focused fiction books that are set close by in Oriental. Welcome back. I'm your host, Davia, and today we are here with author and counselor Heather W. Gobham, and she's here to tell us all about her inspiring and empowering women-focused books. Thank you so much for being with us, Heather.
You're welcome. I'm glad to be here.
So can you please tell us what inspired your journey into writing as a career?
Well, I have always loved to write. As a young child, I wrote poetry, short stories, and things like that. And I always knew I wanted to write a book. And so I just kept journaling, kept writing, and then it happened when we moved down to Oriental in Pamlico County, not far from here. And the inspiration got stronger, and so I decided to follow through. And so part of it is just that internal desire to be creative and to write. And the other part that inspired me to start my writing is my other career as a mental health counselor. And I thought I would be writing a nonfiction book, but then I thought it would be a lot more fun to share some of the messages I wanted to in fiction. And so my hope is that people also take away some positive coping skills and things like that from reading my novels. So it's kind of twofold what got me inspired.
That's amazing. And so I know like the message behind your books is like about women finding strength and wisdom in like a southern coastal setting, specifically Oriental. Mm-hmm. What inspires you to make that your message and like the location for your books?
Okay, well I'll start with the location part.
Yeah.
When my husband and I were living in Raleigh, and I grew up in North Carolina, in Clinton, North Carolina. But when we got to Oriental, well, as one of my characters in my new book says, it felt like a piece of the puzzle, you know, the last piece of the puzzle that you just put it into place. That's how I felt when I got to Oriental. And so that location was very healing to me and calming and inspiring. And so it just made sense.
That's amazing. Okay. What advice would you give to aspiring authors?
Keep writing and don't give up on yourself. I think the biggest thing I've learned, it took me 7 years to write my first book. I was working a full-time job at that time, but I would stop for months at a time because I thought, this is dumb. Nobody wants to read my book. Who do I think I am writing a book? And then I would go back and do it again, you know.
Yeah.
And so, but I've learned over time to just, that voice doesn't totally go away, but just to set it to the side. And if you have that calling and you have a story that's churning, just tap into it and don't doubt yourself. And keep moving forward. One of my mentors for writing, she said, if you have the inspiration to write something, there's at least one person that needs to hear it. Yeah. So we might not, you know, I might not be living in a mansion like Nicholas Sparks up in New Bern, but you know, the touching 1 or 2 or 3 or 100 people's lives, that is worth everything.
Makes a huge difference.
Yeah, and so whether it's, you know, 1 or 1,000,000, I think we all have a obligation to follow through on those inspirations that are inside us. So
I love that, yeah.
Yeah, so please
Awesome.
Keep writing if that's your dream.
Awesome. Where can people go if they want to purchase your books or learn more about you?
Sure. I have a website, which is www.heathergobham.com, and you can learn more about me and my novels, as well as book club questions, things like that, and they're for sale, the autograph copies.
Okay.
They're also available at the Next Chapter bookstore in New Bern and on Amazon.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Heather, for sharing.
Oh, you're welcome. It's great to be here.
It's time for the moment of Zen. Use this time to calm your mind, whether that's by taking a few deep breaths or meditating. Let go of any distractions or stress and focus on the present. Use this time to relax and find peace.
I'm Kaylee Riccatelli, and coming up on Eastern Lifestyle, we're visiting an ever-evolving town along the river in eastern North Carolina. And just wait till you hear what it's named after. You may know the town of Oriental by either its boats or dragons, but there's so much more to this community along the Neuse River. And the first stop is the Oriental History Museum to get a little background.
Well, Oriental was always sort of a farm, early farming area. From that humble beginning, it went through what I would call several different periods of what I call Renaissance. How it got its name was sort of an intriguing story. At the time, the U.S. Postal Service was trying to eliminate misdirected mail. The Postal Service promulgated a regulation that required these outlying little towns and areas to come up with their own one-word place names. The postmaster at the time, Lewis B. Midget, his wife, Becky Midget, was on a trip to visit relatives in Manteo, and when Miss Becky, as she was called, was visiting her friends and relatives in Manteo, she saw the name Oriental somewhere in a house she was visiting. And most people, including myself, think that was a name that was on the steamer Oriental that wrecked near Pea Island. Brought the name back to the town, presented it at a town meeting, and everybody accepted it at some point, and that's how Oriental actually got its name. I think around the early 70s, when the area started becoming popular for sailors and recreational boaters, they came up with the dragon motif as a way of maybe promoting an alternative, I guess, vibe for the town. Everybody loves dragons, you know, and of course this is kind of morphed into a big dragon ceremony, you know, and at the end of the year they have the marching of the dragon through town, and then they regularly have these parades with dragons. The dragon lore has grown out of this this thought that you know, Oriental just sounds like something exotic.
While the dragon is the town's icon, the History Museum's adopted symbol is the compass rose. The one painted on the ground in front of the door pays homage to the one that was painted on the top floor of the old town hall, which was my first stop after leaving the museum. During World War II, women stood watch on the second floor and used the compass to report what direction they spotted possible enemy aircrafts coming from. A few of the public buildings from the past, like the old town hall or schoolhouses, are now residential or otherwise repurposed, but the town still makes every effort to preserve and bring awareness to their rich history. Sometimes half the battle of going to school is physically getting there, and in a fairly rural area before cars were widely accessible, that wasn't always easy. Until 1917, when the Pamlico County School System inaugurated North Carolina's first motorized school bus for use here in Oriental. The life of the town is right by the water, where boats bring all kinds of people in and out of Oriental. Cafes and shops are teeming with plenty of interesting folks to meet.
One of the things that I found very fascinating about the town was, you know, where'd all these people come from? Well, Oriental is right on or just off the Intercoastal Waterway. So you have boaters coming north and south that stop over to Oriental. You might be sitting at one of the restaurants here and engage in a conversation from somebody from England or South Africa or Spain or Canada or someplace like that.
It's time for the life hack of the day. Did you know when you have sandy feet after a day at the beach, you can use baby powder to get the sand off? All you do is sprinkle some on your feet before rinsing them off. And the powder is supposed to help absorb the moisture, making the sand much more easy to brush off.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. I didn't know where it was going either.
I was wondering where. I was wondering where you were going. I was like,
yeah.
How do you get something off your feet by putting more on?
Yeah.
But then it can make, because wet sand is so hard to get off.
So hard to get off.
But then when it's dry, you can just dust it off.
Yeah, and sand is hard to get off in general. Like, I feel like you'll rinse them off and you still feel some particles.
It's there for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
And like being so close to beaches, that's
Exactly.
That's helpful.
Exactly. So up next is an opportunity to get great savings at one of the best ENC restaurants. But before that, let's get into trivia. So which famous donut company started in North Carolina? A, Dunkin' Donuts, B, Duck Donuts, C, Krispy Kreme, or D, Duck Donuts and Krispy Kreme? We'll have the answer right after this short break. Stay with us. Welcome back. Let's see if you got this question right. If you chose D, both Krispy Kreme and Duck Donuts, you are right. Krispy Kreme was founded in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and Duck Donuts was found in Duck, North Carolina.
It's time for Be Our Guest, where we help you save money while having a delicious dining experience. And today we are at La Casetta Italian Restaurant in Robersonville. And make sure to go to WNCT.com, find the Be Our Guest tab to get your $50 gift card for just $25, as these will sell out fast. We're here with Vinny, the owner of La Casetta Italian Restaurant in Robersonville. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for coming.
So we have so many amazing menu items here on this table, so let's get straight into it. What do we got to start off our delicious meal?
This is bruschetta, which is fresh tomato cut with, I use a fresh basil too from my own garden, so everything's made from scratch. So that's really good appetizer with garlic, olive oil, very good.
Fantastic. And then we have a sampler right here, so you get kind of a pick of everything, which is delicious. So what do we have?
Yes, I got a little sample of everything, so to show. Well, we got a mac and cheese bite, potato croquette and panelle are basically a typical Sicilian street food. And then we have a wonderful calamari.
And then of course we have wings right here. So what is your take on the wings?
We do got a regular wings, we got a barbecue wings, we got a honey hot and sweet and spicy, which we made that, the sauce.
And of course we have some surf right here. So what do we have?
We have a fried flounder, but we got a bunch of different fish too. So we got a mahi-mahi, salmon, catfish, flounder, stuffed flounder, which I made from scratch.
We have another classic Italian dish. What do we have right here?
Well, we got a boscaiola, which made it with a homemade pasta. Made it, of course, by me. We have a 7 selection of homemade pasta. So I can cook that by pound, by order or by pound if people let me know in advance.
Yes.
So
homemade is the way to go, and that's what y'all are known for, is homemade dishes.
Yes, everything is homemade and everything is made from scratch.
Perfect.
So.
And if people want something more classic or simple, you also have pizza, but you have many different styles of pizza.
Yes, we do. We got on this one, I just did a half like La Casetta, which is basically everything on it.
Yeah.
And the other one is just cheese, but we do got a meat pizza, veggie pizza, grilled chicken pizza, barbecue. Delicious.
Chef's kiss.
Yes.
I love it. And of course, we can't end a meal without having a glass of wine, and you have quite the selection, so tell me a little bit about it.
We had a red, white, rosé, sparkly, everything you wanted. Yep. The wines come basically, that's only our wine, but we do got a wonderful peach moscato. We use that for the wine and dine.
Well, everything here looks so delicious. Vinny, thank you so much for having us today.
Thank you for coming. You have a wonderful day.
Thank you. And y'all, make sure to go to WNCT.com and find the Be Our Guest tab to get your $50 gift card to La Casetta, as these will sell out fast.
It's time for Quick Draw, where we draw something in 30 seconds or less. And I'm drawing today.
Yes, you are going to be drawing a book today.
Hey.
Are you ready?
Yes.
3, 2, 1, go. Are you drawing a specific book or just
a book? We're gonna do some clouds on the cover, a sun.
15 seconds?
Yes, the title right here and here. This is the little side of it over here. on a shelf.
5 seconds.
On a shelf, the stand over here.
And time's up. Okay. Oh
That's
my
the book.
gosh.
It's on a stand.
Yeah, it's on like a bookshelf.
On a bookshelf.
That's a great book. It looks like one I would read.
It's gonna be a color book.
I love when there's good art on the front, like
right?
on the cover.
It just draws you in.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's my book. I love it. We're so happy that you joined us today. Make sure to share your ENT moments with us by scanning the QR code, and always remember to enjoy every moment of your Eastern lifestyle. We'll see you next time. Have an awesome rest of your day. The latest and past episodes
At WNCT.com/Eastern-lifestyle.
Stay connected with @Eastern Lifestyle 9 for an exclusive look behind the scenes.